I just want to warn you that Pennsylvania Democrats did a shit ton of work this week, so you can speed it up if you want to, but it's all awesome. Democratic Governor Josh Shapiro announced that he is filing a lawsuit against the U.S. Department of Agriculture for unlawfully terminating $13 million committed to 189 Pennsylvania farmers that supply 14 food banks with fresh food. Thanks, Governor. And in Congress, Democratic Representative Chris Deluzio introduced a bill called the No Corporate Crooks Act, which blocks CEOs convicted of crimes from serving in the executive branch. Who is Trump going to hire if that passes? And Democratic Representative Dwight Evans introduced a bill to increase grants to establish workforce training programs. And in the State House, Dem Rep Paul Friel passed a bill to expand the farmer tax credit program. And Dem Rep Robert Matzey passed a bill to ban people from reselling tickets that they do not yet own. And Dem Rep Kyle Mullins passed a bill to appropriate $10 million per year for research into ALS, Alzheimer's, Huntington's, and Parkinson's disease. And Dem Rep Johanny Cepeda France passed a bill to distribute property tax and rent rebates as soon as possible. And Dem Rep Mandy Steele passed a bill to ban sealants that are known to increase cancer risk. And Dem Rep Emily Kincaid introduced a bill to provide free school meals, breakfast, and lunch to all K-12 students. And Dem Rep Malcolm Kenyatta introduced a bill to extend anti-discrimination protections to include sexual orientation and gender identity. But we are not done yet. And Dem Rep Johanny Cepeda France also introduced a bill to improve and expand disability benefits. And Dem Rep Arian Abney introduced a bill to create a tax on transportation companies like Uber and Lyft to fund public transit across PA. And Dem Rep Melissa Schusterman introduced a bill to protect children from child torture. And Dem Rep Christine Howard introduced a bill to define which people are liable for damages caused by deploying artificial intelligence. And Dem Rep Maureen Madden introduced a bill to assist grandparents who are raising their grandchildren. And Dem Rep Liz Hanbidge introduced a bill to extend the Pennsylvania child tax credit to those using a flex spending account. Oh, but there's more. Dem Rep Greg Scott introduced a bill to decrease taxation on disability benefits and other public assistance. Dem Rep Joshua Siegel introduced a bill to provide grants incentivizing local governments to buy American-made, union-made vehicles. And Dem Rep Robert Freeman introduced a bill to allow the State Workers Insurance Fund to offer health insurance as a public option. And Dem Rep Jason Dawkins introduced a bill to increase the minimum wage based on where you live. And Dem Rep Benjamin Sanchez introduced a bill to cap overdraft fees at $15 and require banks to notify their customers whenever they charge such a fee. And Dem Rep Scott Conklin introduced a bill to require baby changing diaper stations to be installed when buildings are renovated. We're getting close, but we're not done. And Dem Rep Dan Williams introduced a bill to allow Medicaid to cover behavioral health care services outside of typical healthcare settings. And in the state Senate, Democratic Senator Judith Schwenk introduced a bill to improve resident conditions in mobile home communities. And Dem Senator Steven Santarciero introduced a bill to improve the PA election code. And he also introduced a bill to ban job and housing discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. And he introduced a bill that would ban assault weapons. And Dem Senator Marty Flynn introduced a bill to ban 7 chemical additives. And he introduced a bill to add an indicator on a driver's license on whether or not a person is a bone marrow donor. And finally, Dem Senator Katie Muth introduced a bill to introduce a media literacy curriculum. God damn it, Democrats deliver! If you want to learn more about Democrats in Pennsylvania, check out my podcast, The Zeekly Podcast. Go to thezeeklypodcast.com today and check it out.